no idea if anybody is actually going to show up for this or now. However, it's a good day to work on the high-grade Nu Gundam. Yeah. I have maybe too much sitting on my desk for this. But you know what? That's okay. Because I'm going to finish the shoulders, and then I'm going to do the legs. Then everything will be complete. The high-grade Nu Gundam has been pretty interesting so far, you know? Am I done with this runner? I think I seem to be done with this runner. Alright. Set that there. Let's finish the B runner while we're here. There's just this one hand cover here that's left. I think I know where it goes to, but it's just the one hand cover. Set that there. And over in here, what do I have? Many hands left on the C runner. That's all. D runner. I have these two white pieces, and they are what I need for the D runner. For the D's nuts runner. Every week I try a little more extra stuff while I'm streaming. This week the change was taking the camera and putting it high up above my build setup so that it would have a easier time focusing in on things. Because one of the problems I have with this camera is its ability to focus on things. It's intended to be a camera where you're sitting like meters away from it, and one of the problems I have with that is things are much closer than the camera sort of expects for its default focus range and stuff. So while this camera is really good for a facial cam when you're far enough away and the details are big enough like a human face, until you hit that point, it's got a little bit of problems going on with it. There seem to be 2 hand covers per white runner, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands total. So yeah, just enough hand covers for all the hands. Are they different from each other in any way? I cannot tell. The closed fist, or is that a holding hand in the manual? Looks like it's using from the D runner. The D runner. I bet it's going to be the hand that holds, yep, the hand that holds the gun. Or the bazooka. But in my case, it's going to be the gun. I actually can't remember if the Nu Gundam can store its rifle anywhere on itself, or whether it just gets to hold it the entire time. Which could be, you know, a little bit awkward where it's just like, oh man, what do I do with my gun? But, you know, it works. Considering the Nu Gundam was hastily pushed out the door once Neo Zeon started dropping asteroids and later a colony on Earth, you know, it totally makes sense for why they wouldn't have like the little things for mobile suits. Like, hey, where does the Nu Gundam store its beam rifle? How much of that is nub? All of that is nub, I think. I also like the sort of orangish color instead of the standard yellow for these for like the V-fin and for the you know, just the stuff. Man, I'm also thinking back to Char's counterattack I'm reminded that the Quest's father, the Earth Federation official guy who fucks everything up, um, he like he's the reason why Bright's family couldn't get into space because he took the last space on the shuttle by preempting, uh, Bright's whole family going up there. And then he never tells Bright that, like, oh yeah, I'm the reason why your family ain't up here in space. Did bring your son though, so he could be a huge fucker in space. Man, I hate Hathaway. It's gonna be weird to see what Hathaway's Flash does with him, and if that's any good at all. If if it's like Gundam narrative, eh. I've seen people talk about Hathaway's Flash and how it what's the word I'm looking for? Actually, I might be able to like watch it unsubtitled, but at the same time, you gotta watch it sub so that you understand like what the hell's even going on. Nub, cleanup. We gotta get these 4 on here. Right, there's one last nub, and then one of these 2 sides of the shoulders will be ready to be assembled after some time with the sandpaper, I suppose. Sand, paper, paper, sand. Hello, Breaking Basha. I'm going to complete these 2 shoulders, and then I'm going to move on to the legs, and I think I'll be able to finish within an hour and a half. Things are going pretty smooth. I like the mustardy or kind of like deep orange color that it uses for the like all the vent outputs and stuff. The Nu Gundam's color scheme is really strong, and not having it be like a bright yellow, I think, really helps it. But, obviously there's a little bit of detail painting I probably ought to do if I'm looking to make this kit the best I can make it. Then let's see here. Do you go in the top or do you go in the bottom? Yeah, that seems to be right. Oh, yeah. Looking at it for this angle is really the thing that makes it work, because that's not going to focus unless I do it manually, so let me try. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah, look at that. There's the different shapes of the 2 that makes this all work properly. Then the way the shoulder thing plugs in, it plugs in like this, so it's facing outward, and then you clip that into place. Then you have to say farewell to an arm, slide that into place. I'm going to flip that up because I think it'll help. Then come on. What is preventing it from going all the way down? Do I have to lower? I seem to.
Huh. So you're building the real grade?
This is the high grade Nu Gundam.
Oh.
I have built the real grade previously, but there's something missing from it that made me like continuously look out for the high grade, and when it finally came into local store shelves, I was like, yeah, I want to get myself the high grade Nu Gundam. Hello, Amek. How's it going?
Well, pretty good. So far, kind of today. I'm just glad I'm off work, so my spine is starting to reform and not crumble into dust.
Oh dear. Because you work a job that requires some manual labor, right?
Yeah. You gotta be zipping and zooming around the place. The local college students are graduating this week, so
Ooh.
their parents are coming in the hotel, and yeah, so that's kind of wild. So
Yeah.
um,
I'm. Are they having like a graduation celebration or something? Hello, Witch.
probably, I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, because I
Um,
remember when, you know, when I graduated, it was interesting. Like, my grandparents came, but since I went to college in the same town that, like, my parents lived in and I had lived in, uh, no hotels for us. But yeah, I can easily imagine how, come springtime here, when it's graduation time, everybody just piles in to come and see the graduation ceremony.
oh God, it's fucking wild when the it's like time for like college and stuff in town because the population here is like 30,000 people,
Yeah.
and it like goes to 60,000 when everyone's in school.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
oh my God.
That's what happens with college towns. Very boom and very bust. But
Uh,
you're about to reach part of the season where it's a little bit bust.
yeah. Well, I don't know. At least it'll be done and over by next week, and then I can move into my new apartment at the end of the month in peace.
Ooh.
So now, I'm got my own place finally. So,
Nice.
um, filled off most of the society check boxes, I guess, so
Yeah.
far. So that's doing pretty well.
Yeah. Now with like the CDC has changed its recommendations today. If you are fully vaccinated, you don't have to worry about wearing masks all that much at all. So we're turning a corner. Things are going to be great.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. What's your intention for what you're going to do once like you've got the fully vaccinated stuff?
Um, well, nothing because I barely get enough days off in a row that I can go anywhere.
I mean, that's
Uh,
fair.
um, I have to, I get a week-long vacation. Excuse me, I'm getting the call. Be right back.
All right. A week-long vacation. Yeah, I'd like one of those. Can't take any of those at the moment though because A, work is very heavy. B, I don't have enough paid time off to be able to take days off. But for where I work at the very least, I have no idea what it's like for Amic. I get 13 holiday days a year, and this year, 12 of the holidays actually fall on like calendar days. So I just have a floating holiday somewhere in the year that needs to get used. But I'm trying to think about when I'm going to strategically use it. Another interesting thing coming up is my second shot of the vaccine is going to be the day before Memorial Day. So I'm going to need to. I might need that extra day the day after Memorial Day because I have no idea how hard the second dose is going to get me. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to find out. Hello, Breaking Bosch. I see you in the call.
I just wanted to join since I heard about moving out.
Yeah.
Same
Ooh,
end of the month, first own flat.
nice.
And it's apparently really hard to have your entire Gunpla collection into boxes.
Yeah. I did that at the end of last year, and I'm going to be doing it again this year, and yet I continue to add to my Gunpla collection. I am a fool. But yeah, I know that feeling. It can be a bit rough.
Addiction is a lie.
Let's see. I've got the two Are these both stickers? They might be. Now, a pro move might be to not put these on now and maybe to paint them later, but I think in the back of my mind, I have no intention of painting this model kit. So I think I'm just going to slap it on there. I just got to figure out like the proper way it's supposed to be orientated on there. I'm looking at the picture here and I'm like, man, did the decal always look like that? It's a very interesting experience at the moment. Okay, yeah. So you got to get it kinda in here-ish? Yeah, a little something like that. The manual has it a little more up and down like that, so it looks a little bit more like an A, but I like the angle I put it on at. A for Amuro. Actually, I've put it a little bit too high up, so... No, I haven't. Just get the knife and cut off that extra little bit on the top there. Yeah.
In my entire Gunpla collection, I only have, I think, 2 kits which are armor rolls, and that's it. First grade, no, easy grade.
Entry
And,
grade, the new one?
Entry grade.
Yeah.
That's the other one is the Zeta Plus C1 in the orange color.
Oh, alright.
The guy was selling a lot of Gunpla, and he had the 1.0 Hyakushiki, which was the one I really wanted from the lot, but it wasn't really as expensive. And he had both of the Zeta Plus variants in there, the master grades, so why not go for it?
Yeah, orange colors is A1, right? Because the gray colors is the C1. But you know what? More information is always good because that means that we all know what you're talking about. All right, it's time to build feet. Feet. So, do you do anything that you're particularly proud of today?
Today was a lazy day after 2 exams.
Yeah. I had
Also,
2.5 hours of meetings. Woo! Actually, no, 3.5 hours of meetings today.
It's a holiday in Germany today, so had free time.
Oh boy, what holiday?
I don't know what's the right translation for this.
Well, let's start with the name of the holiday in the German language, and then we'll try to come up with something from there. Is this kind of like Founding Day or something?
Christi Himmelfahrt. So it's a day Jesus went to heaven.
Okay. Oh, so this is that's like Easter. Yeah.
No, Easter is where he
oh yeah, where he rose from the grave, right?
He stays a bit and then he went to heaven, and I don't know the right word.
Ascended.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I've been Catholic my entire life, and I don't think I've ever celebrated like this holiday in particular where, well, okay, I suppose I'm on that casual end of the Catholic spectrum, but you know. Ascension Day says Google. All right, we'll take Witch's word for it. Yeah.
Thing is, Germany has a really, really long history with Christian, so
yeah, it's where that guy Martin Luther nailed his theses to a church in Germany somewhere, and now it's like, you know, that's where that phase started. So yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of holidays which are based on that, and it's even more because we have different holidays depending on which state of Germany you're in. And in Bavaria, you have a lot of holidays more, which are all Christian based.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
but right now we have in the next time we have a lot of holidays, so as you can have often 4-day weekends and such.
Yeah. You love to see it.
And now I get have them free. Last year, when I worked still as a paramedic, there were no free days like that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, people get sick every single day. You can
That's
never
a
take a
lie.
day off.
But mostly packed my stuff today. So
Yeah.
the plan is to start moving my stuff from the 15th on. But there's a problem because so the flat I'm gonna be renting is part of a organization, and the person which is in the flat before can say who's the next one. In my case, I went to the flat, looked at everything, and was the one who was chosen to be set as to be the next.
The next person on the
Living.
flat. Yeah, the next person to be in the flat. Yeah.
And the plan was the guy who's currently living there is moving out on the 15th, and he sent his resignation from the lease. Or no, not
His
lease,
notice to
the rent.
vacate.
But apparently, the person responsible for that still has not gotten that document. So there's currently a limbo where I'm told I'm gonna get the flat, but I have no form of contract.
Ooh. Yeah. And since somebody's probably, coming into your place behind you there.
Technically not, but technically yes. The thing is, I'm currently still living with my parents, and when I move out, my parents also move out at the same month, starting like I move out, but they have 2 months to get everything out of here. So
yeah, they're selling the
Both
house,
have-
so yep, I can imagine that.
no, my parents also are renting.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, in Germany, there's a lot more people who rent than to buy because house prices are expensive.
Yeah. US is getting there, but at the same time there's a lot of people that still own houses.
Well, to be fair, the houses are made of paper mache, so
Yeah. Wait, the houses here are made of paper mache, or the houses over there are made of paper mache?
in America.
Oh yeah, considering they're not made out of like stone and stuff. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Here in Germany, most houses are more solid. The newer ones are a little bit less, but still, many houses, especially in the bigger cities, are blocks.
Yeah, they're big, they're
And-
old, they've been there for a long time, so yeah, I can
And
see that.
The far eastern you get, the more blockier and less defined they are, because that's the
Yep,
part which was Soviet.
yep, the brutalist style. We're going to make this house look as unappealing as we possibly can.
And you have the choice of 2 wallpapers, but nothing more.
2 wallpapers? Whoa. Is that like an actual requirement that it has to be this kind of wallpaper? Can you not bring in your own wallpaper and put up?
Back in the day, there were a limited number of wallpapers and tiles and such you can really get, so make everything as uniform as possible.
Yep. Man. See, I think it's weird when I drive around my neighborhood and my neighborhood was made by some housing contractor company, right? So they built they had house models that you could build to. But when I drive around my neighborhood and I recognize other houses of the same model, I kind of look at that and I'm like, man, that's weird. The entire house on the inside is the same as what I'm currently living in. And yet, like, God, I'm just imagining walking through, like, an apartment building at that point where it's just, oh, same house, same house, same house, same house, same house. Man, that has to get, like, depressing to live in.
I sent a picture of an actual house in East Germany in voice to text.
Yeah. Man.
Oh my god, that's a bummer, man.
That's just what it looks like, you know?
Huh.
It's just life
It looks-
sometimes. I'm glad, I'm glad that's not my life, you know? But then again, like, the other weird thing we get here is, like, is that what it, like, all of the houses in the city end up looking like? Or is that just, like, this particular,
The
one?
thing is, there were also a lot of houses before, but once
Yeah.
Germany was parted in two parts, the new houses were all in East Germany. All houses look like this, which are built new. So in the bigger cities, it's because they wanted to have the most place possible with the least amount of how to say, uniqueness for everyone.
Yep. Yeah. No individuality. Fuck you.
Mm. Well then.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile,
So-
here, like, if you've got the fire in your building, you can show up to your, like, local city council and you can say, I want a zoning variance granted so I can make my garage, like, 20 feet longer in this dimension. And your zoning council will probably rubber stamp it and say, yes, that's good. Just a completely different way of living your life and building your house. But then again, you know, when the state's building a house, they have their own way of doing that. But one of the other, like, really wild things here is there are some developers where they make all of their apartment buildings look the same, but they won't build them. They'll build them in different cities that are next to each other. So you're driving along the road, you look over to your right, and then you see, like, an apartment building built by this company, and you're like, oh, I recognize that anywhere. And then you go 5 more minutes, and then you see basically the same building again, but it's in a completely different city. You drive 5 more minutes, and then bam, a completely different city, same building. So, you know, looks a little bit different when it's, like, yellow, white, black, and red in a weird square alternating pattern around the building. But, you know, it's the same, but it's different, if you catch my drift. Nobody's catching my drift. I didn't explain that well enough. Wah, 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 wah.
My internet had problems, so basically you came, your words were half broken off, but I understand the gist of it.
Yeah. Like, imagine seeing that house, like, instead of being, like, a mile long, it's maybe, like, 200 meters long, and then as you just see it at a whole bunch of different points in the city. That's sort of what's going on here, but then you just put a coat of paint over top of it to make it, like, fun looking.
That is done with a lot of these kind of, they're called Betonbaus, basically concrete buildings.
Yep.
Just
Prefabricated, they just threw a bunch of walls together. Yeah.
they often do that they paint them in brighter colors, but it's kind of depressing
Yeah.
living in.
Yep, I can imagine. I've been to Berlin exactly once. Freshman year of college. Fucking hell, it was 10 years ago, yeah. And it was interesting to see, like, the concrete houses because you could just see the seams on the outside where they just sort of, like, you could tell the discrete blocks where they put everything together from, and it was, like, it's weird to believe that they'd make houses like that, you know? Because it, like, if you're building something out of, prefabricated materials. It feels like it should be a temporary structure kind of thing that you're going to end up, tearing down once it's no longer needed. But to make it permanent, it's kind of whack.
So to be fair, that's the new trend. The Netherlands are going to start building these 3D printed houses, which are basically just like the old beton walls, which are just prefabricated and slapped on there.
Wild.
That's fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to see what people come up with for the new concept of housing. Like, the big fad that I remember from like 5 years ago, because there was one of these houses installed at the architecture building on my university, but like it was a tiny house, like basically one room had everything in it, and they just had it sitting on like the front lawn of the architecture building for a year or two as people were just kind of showing it off. Yeah, this is the thing we're working on. This is one of our research projects, and it's like, this house is tiny.
I personally really don't like the thought of literally living in just one room.
Yeah.
The new flat I'm going to be living in has 2.5 rooms, and just the separation of bedroom and the normal living room and the kitchen, I think it's really needed for us.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna, especially if you're living alone just in one room, it's really, really depressing, I think.
It kind of depends, because in the US we have loft apartments where it basically is like as small a space as you can get. But if you're the kind of person who doesn't hang out indoors, likes to go out and party with people or whatever, like is going out to do things in the world with their life, it's, it's totally fine. You don't need a lot of space. I'm also going to point out the little bit of heel articulation where you can sort of like step out of your shoe a little bit to get just a little bit more on your poses. That's cool.
Right.
Now it's time to build leg. Build joints of leg and then move on to build leg.
I think I really need to get one of the new variants, either a normal Nu, I think Verka, or any version of the high Nu.
Yeah.
These days.
A lot of people... Well, there is that real great high Nu coming.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah. The high Nu's looks aren't exactly for me, but it'll be interesting to see what it's like when it's actually out there, Because the Nu Gundam, for as much as I'm not a fan of its aesthetics, like, that's a good kit. So, I'm looking forward to the high Nu being a really good kit, There's a lot of people who like the high Nu when I don't, and I want them to be happy with the kits they go out and buy. So I'm really hoping the high Nu is good for them,
Maybe that the more realistic design will change their minds. I don't know. Why don't you like the high Nu specifically?
The proportion changes don't really do it for me, and I have a really strong attachment to like the vanilla Nu. So like when it gets changed a little bit, like say for the high Nu, because it's still like the same design in air quotes, I just don't think it tells as much of the... So, it all comes down to aesthetics, and I'm going to point to sort of like the simplicity of the Nu Gundam here. And it has to deal with Amuro as a character by the time Char's counterattack is happening, right? Like, original Amuro, he showed up for a fight he wasn't ready for, but he knew he had to do something to stop what was happening in front of him. In his case, it was the Zeon showing up to the colony he lived in and opening fire on the mobile suit docks, blowing holes, killing people, and he was like, I'm not going to stand for this. So he sort of rushed into a fight headlong, but the Gundam for that was his body. It was how he was going to step into this fight when he didn't pick it. Then we get to Zeta Gundam, where he's reluctant to get back in, but he has to force himself back in to recognize the problems still happening in the world and to try and work towards a solution there. So the entire time he's in Zeta, he doesn't have the Gundam anymore because he's still, like, working through it and providing a supporting role. And then we get to Char's counterattack, where the story is all about him and how he's going to do things. And I think the Nu Gundam is a good embodiment of Amuro's character in giant machine form. It's an iteration on the concept of the original Gundam, like where it's got in the lower legs, things are more sort of curved around, but then when you start to get up into the upper body, it's a lot more blocky. And they've changed the color sort of in the chest and in a lot of it, where they've simplified down to this black, white, and with little doses of red and yellow. The black and white is Amuro's personal color, so he's finally been able to make a mobile suit his own instead of just like this. In my mind, the Nu Gundam is the original RX-78-2, but Amuro has taken it and personalized it to fully embody who he is as a warrior and a fighter as he tries to fight for peace. And you can sort of see that in its armaments. Like, it's got the shield that the original one had. It has the beam rifle. It has the bazooka. The addition is the big ol' fin funnels, because the fin funnels are his, is him as a space wizard, you know? Him as a new type. So it's all, like, this feels like the ultimate embodiment of what Amuro kind of could be, and I see the High Nu as somebody sitting down and going, yeah, the Nu's pretty alright, but what if I made it cooler in my own? And it doesn't feel like it's Amuro's anymore, you know? Like, it's whoever this other guy is that thought he could one-up it. So, that's part of the reason why I don't like the High Nu. And even if I sit down and have to approach the High Nu from its own, like, perspectives, I don't like the big swoops on its, what's the word for it? Like the calves on the sides of the legs. They make that muscle look way too big and unproportionate compared to, like, a human body. And I don't like how the funnels are sort of hooked up onto its racks on the back. Like, sure, the Nu Gundam is weird with its picket fence on the back, but it also tells a story of how the Nu Gundam was hurriedly rushed to the battle, and I don't know, I think it just works for it.
Okay.
The thing is with the Nu and the High Nu, I know what is similar, but in my head they're just distinct. I can't really say this is just the same as the other one, just more, because in my opinion I don't really see it. I know it is there, but I can't really place it. So I like the Nu for because it's basically the evolution of the Gundam line, basically Gundam NT Mark II, and you see parts of this in the new design. But I like the High Nu just because he looks cool.
Yeah, and that's what matters the most. It's hard for me to describe why the High Nu does not look cool to me at all, while the Nu does. But as long as it looks cool for you, I would highly recommend, like, waiting for that real grade to come out, and then, you know, reading some of the reviews that are going to be put out about it, and then just going and grabbing it, you know?
I'm just not really that much of a real grade person. That's
Yeah,
my only problem.
I can understand that. The new real grades are, it feels like they're master grades, you know? Especially with the Nu and the Zazabi, where they're big enough that the only reason they aren't master grades is just because of the scale in universe, you know?
The only real grades I have are the Astray, which was my first real grade, which is awesome because I like Astrays.
Yep.
I got the real grade Unicorn one day because I had an Amazon
Gift card? Yeah.
gift card, and it was just enough to get it, and that was when it was new, so it was the first time I had a real Gundam kit shortly after it came out, and after that I bought the Senanju to pose with my unicorn.
Yeah.
And other than that, I own just the Evangelion Unit 1
Ah.
because it's Eva.
Yeah.
But I never really have the drive to get real grade. The thing is, I do a lot of customizing and a lot of kit bashing and such, and real grades were never really able to do that, so I never really got a lot of them.
Yeah. A real grade is like it's a display piece for that mobile suit, you know? Like I've seen a couple people that have kit bashed a couple real grades when they're, you know, around the same size because the elbow joint. I'm trying to lean into the camera so you can see the shoulder of my elbow wiggling in and out there, but it's sort of hidden by Luna Mario Hawk. Oops. That joint is usually the same between a lot of the real grades. So that's one of the places where you can maybe do some swapping, but there's so much extra modification that goes into kit bashing real grades compared to doing anything with high grade or master grade. So yeah, I totally understand that point.
And also the fact is in Germany, real grades are also expensive.
Yeah. I mean,
50 bucks for a real grade is or euro, or even 40, which is $45 to $50, is a lot.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that. Yeah, because here, like, you can get real grades at pretty near to what their base price is supposed to be once you convert it over from yen. But, you know, that's just how our market works here. I'm not terribly... So, when I was in high school, our high school band did field trips. And one of the field trips I went to was Spain. And we sat down in a cafe once to pay for things, and we were saying, "Oh, you know, why are things so expensive?" And the guy who was running the store got kind of mad because he was going to start talking about politics, and he's like, "It's the VAT." And we were like, "What's VAT?" "You know, this, that, that, everything's VAT." But why he thought prices were high and why he had to raise his prices as a cafe owner was because of the added tax. We're like, the theory behind a value added tax is every step of the way, you add value to whatever product you're doing. Therefore, you get taxed for that added value you raise. So what ends up happening is companies like pass on the cost of that to whoever they sell it to, and if you've got like 6 steps in your supply chain, that gets passed all the way down to the customer and really starts to add up. So I wonder if the raised prices for Bandai Gunpla and stuff have to deal with like, oh, the distributor gets hit with the VAT, and then it gets to whoever is selling at the store, and they get hit with a VAT as well. And the importer gets hit before it goes to the distributor or something like that, you know?
We have 19%, so it definitely is part of that. And the 90% aren't just on the base price from which you buy. It's the base price plus the shipping costs. And then, if it's above a certain level, if it's not from the EU, you also have to pay the taxes, not taxes, was war Zoll?
Fees?
Import costs.
Yeah, import tax.
So
tariff. Tariff is probably the word you're looking for.
Tariff?
Yeah, because a tariff is a tax imposed on goods imported from another nation instead of bought within said nation. It's a protectionist tax policy to try and like help maintain
customs.
Oh, I suppose there's also custom fees too. Yeah.
The thing is, it's not just one step. It always adds on the last step. So it really get a lot of
number just go up and up and up and up.
I only have bought Gunpla once from Japan directly. Banzai Hobby, I think it was called, and I chose the super slow 3-month land-based shipping service, and I still had to pay like $40 or so extra.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What were you getting in that order, by the way?
The thing is, I bought $200 worth of Gunpla at that.
Okay.
That were mostly the high grade high grade 1/100X suits. I bought a lot of
Oh.
action bases. Uh, what did I gotta have to search for a picture.
Yeah.
I don't really remember everything out there, but there were a lot of stuff. But it was also far cheaper because you had it was a Japanese shop which already had the prices lowered, so it was definitely far cheaper than getting it here.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Um, this one time a little while ago, this is the only time I've really had to deal with this because now I just bite the bullet and pay more for stuff on eBay now. I don't try to, but there was I was trying to collect those future Devilman figures because I really like them, and I found like this Japanese shop that had them for like really cheap, like under $20, but the shipping was like $100. Fucking terrible.
Yep. That's one of those kinds of things that comes up. It's interesting how much of the supply chain is abstracted away from us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where, like,
Politics.
well, part of the fun of it is you walk to your store and, like, oh, you know, here's a loaf of bread. It costs $1 or something. And you just have to sit down and think a little bit, and you're just like, man, how. Or, one of the really amazing things to think about is dairy products like milk and cheese. So, there was a federal law passed in the United States where the price of milk is determined by how far away you are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's
because
well
Wisconsin
then.
is the cheese capital of the U.S., and there are a lot of dairy farms in there. So they produce a lot of dairy. They're able to produce a lot of milk and cheese and stuff, and they get to drive the price. So they got together, they lobbied Congress, and they got a law put in place that gives them a competitive advantage. It's absolutely wild, but you know what? They went and did it. Those mad lads did it.
Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. That's politics, baby. You got power, you gotta flex it.
I fucking hate America. Jesus
Nah,
fucking
this
Christ.
that's pretty alright,
It's the
you know?
same
Uh,
everywhere. It's not
mm.
something limited to America. Lobbyism is a plague on the capitalist world.
I
See,
know.
it's a plague no matter what happens, you know? It doesn't matter where you're at in the world, politics is going to fuck something up. There is no
Oh.
relief from politics.
Nope.
One of the things I'm realizing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to sit down and disassemble like all these legs so I can panel line some of the stuff because I don't really want to do that on stream. But then again, I am rapidly reaching like the end of this kit. I was planning to go for an hour and a half, but it might just be an hour stream total, and I'm gonna yeah, there's enough parts left in here. I still gotta do all the hands and stuff, but yeah, it's
I finally found a picture of my order I did that one time.
yeah, show it. I've also just had the realization that I forgot to sand down some of the nubs on here. Oops. Well, they're not that easy to see and find, so it's probably fine. I'm going to be lazy.
On the topic on ordering Gunpla, something I recently have started is to check every kind of available option in my country when it comes to what's it called? Basically, the equivalent to Craigslist. In Germany, that's an
Ah,
eBay-based service called Kleinanzeigen, and I check everything there. I have a lot alerts set to Bandai and Gundam, so and there is often quite interesting stuff you can get. Like Recently I just got a 1/100 no grade tier on ground type.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's a cool kit.
Currently it's stuck in post, but it should arrive at this weekend.
Yeah.
And you don't. These are kits you don't really find in the normal shops, so it's interesting.
It's been a long time since they've been reprinted, and the Tyrion is like, it's amazing to sit down and read the Dalong review of it just to see like how articulate that boy is, you know? Like, it can put its head between its legs because it can like rotate them around that far.
Technically the Tyrion doesn't have a head. So.
I know, but like, it's a fucking gymnast is what I'm trying to say.
I sent a picture and voice detect from the order that I did that one time.
Yeah,
Yo.
Yeah, you got the double X there, the G Falcon. There's
the cool thing,
yeah.
just shortly after that I found the Airmaster Burst for $20 or so I got the whole trio.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I currently have a pre-built Versago 1/100, which I plan to modify into the chest brake to display with them.
Yeah. Shame about the Astron, though.
Poor bastard.
Poor bastard.
No one remembers him. God, man. He's like my favorite one too.
Yeah.
I like the Astron. He's neat. But have you heard of the Vashtaron?
The Vashtaron. Ooh, is that like Vash the Stampede?
I don't know. You can be the judge.
Oh, you're about to go find it.
One of these giant versions from the Hyper Guide, or what was it called again?
I don't know. Amic will find it, he'll show it, you'll recognize it, and we'll see it from there.
There were some really awesome variants of the X suits in there.
Oh god, what happened to it? Oh, they combined the two of them. The Versago and the Astron. I get it.
Yeah, there were some pretty neat ones. I think my favorite was probably the Versago Assassin.
Versago Assassin? I know what I think of when I think Assassin. Did they give it like an assassin type outfit or what?
I don't know. I guess it kind of it looks kind of like, I don't know how to say this.
Oh, Gundam Leopard gun tank, right?
The thing about
this is, yeah, that one.
I'm seeing it now, and I never noticed before. I recently built the Zaku tank from the Immortal King, and it's literally the same chassis. Not even kind of close. It's literally the same chassis it's based on.
Yep. I mean, there aren't too many ways you can go with tank, you know? So it's just kind of a thing that I feel will happen.
Placement, everything.
Well, maybe the designer got lazy, I guess.
Damn.
Damn, bro. I can't believe I'd accuse a man of being lazy. Yeah, they've even got the dick gun in there, too. For as close to where a dick can be if you're, you know, don't have any legs and instead have treads. But, you know, it's the thought that counts. Yeah.
By the way, the wiring for the kit was horrible.
The wiring? Does it have wires in it?
The Zaku tank, you have to solder them yourself.
Wait. What?
It has LEDs. The headlights are LEDs. You have LEDs in the vents. You have LEDs in the mono eye and everything. And It's horrible. It's absolutely fucking horrible.
Oh, okay. See, when you said wiring, I was like, wait, do you have to like string the treads together or something? But when you said, oh, it's in the vents, it's the light up mono eye, and I'm like, oh, okay. That's like Jason when he was building the big scale Gelgoog, and he was just like, Nelson, can you come down here and do this for me? And I'm like, no, Jason. Buy a soldering iron and do it yourself.
Destroyed.
So many LEDs and at the end, I finally finished soldering, and for some reason, the power of the LEDs is too little, so that only half of the LEDs light up.
Oh, was it just that the battery was weak, or
I don't have. Didn't buy a new battery since then, and I haven't tried it out. But I think you just need these button cells with 3 volts, and instead of the ones which you usually get, which have 1.5.
yeah,
So I gotta try them out.
yeah,
But
do it.
if they don't work, I'm gonna be taking that kit and throw it in the garbage.
Ooh.
Because I burnt myself 3 times while soldering the kit. There was so many dumb the button which was delivered with the kit, which has a cool hidden function which you can press, just doesn't work. The kit looks so cool, but the electronics really annoy me.
Yeah. Wiring and soldering is a skill you learn, and like, just because I am an electrical engineer doesn't mean I don't burn myself on a soldering iron. Probably the dumbest I've ever done with a soldering iron is so when I hold a pencil, and I'm going to hold my hobby knife here for it to kind of show you. Like, when I hold a pencil, I hold it really down low, you know? Like, I hold it way down here, so I get like the most control, and then the back end of it is like a counterweight or something. Now, in a soldering iron, like right where my pointer finger is right there, that's about where the soldering iron hot part begins. So at one point, I picked up a soldering iron and I held it like I usually do a pencil. So I dropped that soldering iron pretty quick.
Yeah, my father is a real electrician, so he works for the train service and does communication for. But to get the job, he did a real training as electrician, and even he has done the thing. I dropped my soldering iron and I caught it with my hand.
Instinctually wanted to grab it. Yes. Yeah.
Didn't work out that well.
Of course not. And it's one of those things where I feel like whoever's at... My phone is ringing. Hold on a minute. Alright, cool. I think we're back.
My service?
So what frequently happens when you've got a robot calling you is it'll, like, right before it goes to answering machine, it'll cancel, and then it won't leave a message or anything. So all I got from the caller ID was it reading out the number. So, yeah. That's always nice when they don't leave a message. There are 13 spam messages that I have to listen to and delete because they're all from, like, you know, computers calling me. Having a landline, it's great.
Man, I've been getting those spam calls like crazy lately.
Yeah. there was a point where I wasn't getting that many of them, and then like at the start of 2021, they started coming in where like 1 or 2 a day will come through over the phone. I don't know what happened, but somebody decided that they were going to spend a lot of money trying to call idiots on the phone. It's always about a car and the warranty. Like, bro.
Try something else, motherfucker.
Try something else, please. Like, if you told me something unique or interesting, like I won, like, I don't know, a bukkake session or something like that, at least that'd be interesting. But no, it's just people calling about collar warranties. Yeah. Actually, Breaking Basha, since you were talking about your dad working for trains and stuff, do you live in, like, the same region that Blockio does?
Don't know which region Blockio lives in.
Okay. Honestly, I don't either. But there was a point where he showed me a German comedy show where they were talking about this train.
I was there for that.
Yeah, you remember? Is that train station they were making fun of there? Is that close to where you're at, or is that somewhere completely different?
State, but not that close.
Yeah, I mean, states are big places.
I live basically in Western Germany.
Yeah.
Like so Western that in 2 hours I can go to the Netherlands. So.
Okay. So not only are you west, you're a bit north, right? Because if you're further south, you'd end up in France.
Yep.
Parlez-vous français? Ho ho ho. Omelette du fromage.
Hey, baguette. Oh.
But I think Blockio said something that he's more in the south part of Germany, didn't he?
Yeah, seems right. Closer to the Schwarzwald or something. Maybe not that close. But...
definitely lots more in the south.
Yep. I remember a little bit of German geography from my German classes I took in high school.
I live in the industrial part of Germany, basically.
Yeah, the Rhineland.
North Rhine-Westphalia.
North Rhine-Westphalia? Oof. Did I hear that right?
Also, the German pronunciation would be North Rhine-Westphalia, and it's North Rhine-Westphalia.
Oof. Oof. Is the industrial zone up there, kind of the same as what the industrial zones are sort of like here in America, where they're sort of like withering away and decaying, or are they doing good?
Depends on which city you're in.
Suppose that's fair.
We have a city which was basically in the same state as Detroit until they started to try to make more culture. And apparently it works because they got Starlight Express, and since then they have been on a upwards scale.
All right, I suppose that's fair. Yeah. So if Detroit, like, I don't know, it builds like an opera house or something, maybe they can rebound too. That'd be nice. Yeah.
But they need a big opera house.
They need a big opera house, a very big opera house.
Yes, the old industrial halls were then bought by big organizations to hold convention and such in. So that's basically how that city got up from the ground. And then later universities and such. So they were at the bottom. By the way, that's also the city I'm going to live in next month.
Yay!
Radical.
let's see. Which are... How do I figure out where the parts are to put this in? Alright, we start with this ankle thing. What I find interesting for the ankle is, so you see how it's got the polycap and then it's got the, like the side that it plugs into? For the different legs, they have it orientated like one way here where it points to the outside, and on the other way they have it pointed the other direction. Where what I sort of usually expect when I'm putting a leg together is that it's like the long thing is on one side of it. But I suppose what they're doing with this is when the Nu Gundam is generally standing in place, it's doing kind of an A pose with its legs kind of spread out a bit. So I think what's going on here is that they put the mechanical detail part sort of facing towards the outside. So when you sort of look up into the bottom of its bell bottoms here, you can, because you can see it in there, when otherwise you wouldn't be able to see that at all. It's another thing I love about the Nu Gundam. It's impeccable style with, like, its pants where, like, it sort of flares out underneath the calves, you know?
Oop, Nelson, have you ever seen the new mass production type?
Oh yeah, where it's got the incoms instead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we about to go, hey Nelson, do you like this variant of it? And I don't know if I'm going to say yes or not because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think it's alright. It mostly comes down to like the style it's drawn in, you know? Yeah, I remember seeing that, boy. It got really big shoulders.
I feel like the funnels are like they're very large compared to I think what they were.
Wait.
Stumpy,
it's looked like,
you know?
It's looked like this is some fan art or something, and some guy just like photoshopped this together poorly.
No, that is completely official.
Yeah. Oh, I totally believe that, but, you know, I still see this, and I'm like, man, bro, this is the best you can do? There we go, finally popped in that section.
Damn, ouch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think he's cool, but...
He does alright.
I don't know. He's not as...
The proportions are different, and that comes down to the person drawing it, and...
Yeah, he's not, like, as dynamic looking, I guess, if that's a good word.
He looks like a big old block, you know, because of how big and weighty his chest and shoulders are. Left leg. Attached. Yeah, because part of it also, that I see here, is they've, this MP Nu here has, like, Gundam Seed proportions going on with its lower legs, where they're, like, when you look at the official art, they're really stumpy in the, legs, and the real grade Impulse sort of brings that out compared to the high grade, but something about the Nu Gundam here is the leg is long and it's thin compared to this guy where it's the same width, but it's been shortened a whole bunch, and it looks a whole lot fatter because of it. And I don't know, I guess I like the skinny leg designs, you know? I guess I like my Gundam robots to be shoujo style, where it's got the really thin legs and they're really tall.
I don't know what a shoujo is.
I believe the literal translation is pretty girl, and it's manga directed at like teenage women, and like think Sailor Moon, think Precure.
Yeah.
It's not even pre-girl, it's just girl. Shonen and shoujo just mean boy girl.
Oh,
shoujo be pretty girl.
Okay. Yeah, that's why it's B shonen, pretty boy. Right. Okay, got it.
That's where the art comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, the clearly what I'm saying is more designers and artists should make the jump from shoujo manga to Gundam so that they can design more machines that I like because of the skinny legs and proportions.
Means that
Or
God
you could just hand them a paper with Big Zam on it, and you can be like, I want them all to look like this.
Okay, but maybe give it
And
some
then you
arms,
have
you
the-
know? Arms are good.
arms are not
Well,
needed.
arms.
The anti
They don't need that shit.
But I want arms. I want to give it a gun.
Big Zam
Then
has a
attack-
gun. He's a gun on legs.
Look. If you could give Big Zam a beam rifle, I think Dozel Zabi would take it.
I think that would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, right? Like, imagine if during the pivotal moment where Slager gets fucking yeeted by the claws on the toe, imagine if Big Zam could just turn its arm around behind it and be like, pew pew.
Isn't the entire front of the Big Zam a beam rifle?
Yeah.
A bunch of beam rifles, actually, and a big giant one in the middle.
Look, all I'm saying is they drastically improved Big Zam when they created the Destroy Gundam.
Yeah, I don't know. The Destroy Gundam is pretty cool, actually. Real talk, I really like that one. It's neat. The alt mode's kind of stupid, though.
Yeah.
It looks
The
goofy.
alt mode of It's Big Zam versus the standing mode of I have stood up. I have back problems for life because of this massive disc on my back.
Oh god. I never thought about it was supposed to be like a Big Zam callback. I just thought they were trying to like they just made and they were like, we need to make a modern Psycho Gundam. Okay, well it needs to transform. What's it gonna transform into? I don't fucking know.
Because it definitely is the Psycho Gundam, but instead of
Right.
giving it like the boxy form that the Psycho Gundam got, instead you got Big Zam, because we didn't have that in original Gundam Seed.
Speaking of which, the Psycho Gundam and its alt mode, the alt mode, like, I
It's
don't
just a
know
giant
what's up
brick.
with that thing. It's just like a giant brick with the like. What's even the point? Does it like? Is it like?
It flies. That's the
It
point.
flies.
It's
Oh no.
It flies.
Oh.
Its weak points are all curled up, but yet it cannot apply nearly as much instantaneous destructive force. So it's easier to approach, you know?
I guess.
Hey, it's a flying big iron castle. A black iron castle.
Kabanari of the Iron Fortress. Here it is.
You didn't get the reference.
No, I didn't. Not at all.
Flying black iron castle is another robot.
The Fortress of Black Steel. Yes, the Mazinger.
Single.
Mazin Go.
Yeah, I don't. Have you watched Mazinger, Basha?
I watched part of the original and the new versions and a couple of the manga versions.
Yeah.
I had a phase where I really was into Go Nagai, so there
Yep.
was
Oh.
Yeah.
so Devilman is still red.
My familiarity with Mazinger comes basically entirely from Super Robot Wars. So, there's a lot I don't really know about Mazinger and just kind of go like, yeah, you know, that's close enough.
Most of my knowledge about Mazinger is just from the Maz and Kaiser OVAs, because those are the ones that I've watched.
Yeah.
Which, they're pretty cool, but I don't know. I mean, I think I really know all I need to is that the old guy, he makes the robot, and then he gets his grandson to pilot it, and he
Yep.
fights the bad guy, and that's the show. The end.
You can choose to be a god or a devil. What do you choose, Koji Kabuto? I'm gonna be a god! Presto fire! Rocketo
Oh, God.
punch!
Shin Mazinger is the best way to get into Mazinger, I would say. It's modernization. You don't have to have any previous knowledge. You have some absolutely awesome and dumb new stuff like the Big Bang Punch. So
Okay.
definitely watching that.
Yeah, Shin
Is that
Mazinger,
when
from
he
what I've heard, is
transforms?
just straight good.
The only problem is that it just ends without a conclusion.
Bop.
It literally has. There's the biggest enemy. I'm gonna fight him. End.
New Getter Robo has that kind of thing go on too, right?
Well, New Getter Robo, so it's kind of like its own thing. Like, it starts out as like a retelling of like the Getter Robo manga, but they're like, instead of the Dinosaur Empire, it's like the Oni, and the villains are kind of like supposed to be like a callback to some manga that Ken Ishikawa did during his hiatus after finishing Getter Robo G to Getter Robo Go. So it's sort of like that, yeah. Different,
but the same.
With Shin Mazinger is that at least in the New Getter Robo, they have the conflict of the series, which gets revolved, and you have something new which is shown, but then it ends. The thing with Shin Mazinger is that basically there are two enemy groups in Mazinger, which is first he fights the Hell, and he fights the Mycenaean Empire. And he fights the Mycenaean Empire, and in the fight with Gorgon, or what was his name, it just ends. It just ends.
They continue that in like one of the Super Robot Wars games, didn't they?
I'm currently playing through Super Robot Wars V, and yeah, it takes the story of Shin Mazinger and then adds like Mazinger Zero on top of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But see, part of the fun of that is after like chapter 30 something, Koji comes back possessed by Mazinger Zero, and he's like, Tetsuya, you gotta help, please. I'm getting controlled by the Mazinger. And then they made a new design for this game, and it was put in this game so that it could be advertised to sell toys for, but they put in a like equivalent for Great Mazinger, where it's called like the Mazin Emperor or something like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but like Tetsuya just gets the Mazin Emperor to replace Great Mazinger, because Great Mazinger gets fucking owned. And then he snaps Koji out of it, and then whenever you're playing the game, like, Koji comes to an understanding with the true Mazinger spirit or whatever, and he's like, yeah, man, you're able to generate more power than I can on my own, so I want to see where you're going, Koji Gabuto. Let's team up. You and I, the Mazinger power, we're going to work together. And Koji's like, all right. And then you get to control Mazinger Zero, but there's the catch is, Mazinger Zero, you have to reach like maximum morale before you can transform into it, but yet you have Mazinger Zero to play with, because at that point of the game it's not a problem at all to be able to reach maximum morale. So it's just like, oh cool, I beat up a bunch of mooks and I turned into Mazinger Zero, and it's time to go kick ass on the boss of the stage. So
the thing about Mazinger Zero is, back when I had that Gonagai phase, it wasn't finished. You know, the English translation, which is definitely leap and definitely in no way problematic.
Ooh.
It wasn't finished, so I didn't know how the story would end, and literally just a week ago, when we're talking about when in the Discord someone brought up Mazinger Zero, I said, why not just, is it finally finished? Maybe I can finally read it. So I literally just read Mazinger Zero to the end a week ago, and apparently there is a great Mazinger version, a second manga, which is a sequel with great Mazinger in it. So maybe this
Oh, cool!
Uh,
They're going to make the
Sorry.
Mazin Emperor official. You'll love to see it.
Maybe it is actually official. I don't know. There are only 3 chapters or so of that one out.
Look, what I know is that it was a new original design for Super Robot Wars, and they put it in so they could sell toys of it, and now it's like, huh, maybe I will go write a story about that, which I think is how Maz Kaiser came to be as well.
Yeah, that Maz and Kaiser was like an upgrade from Mazinger in like one of the older Super Robot Wars games, and Gozen
And-
Guy was like, I'll make an anime out of this.
Yeah, in Alpha Gaiden, Koji and Tetsuya, like, everybody goes to the past because of an original character new to Super Robot Wars fucking around with gravity. And so you get back to the past. Ooh, wait, this is a tall boy. Yeah. Okay, now I gotta actually, like, start posing him so things will balance. So I gotta slide down this here. Let's rotate the arm in a little bit because I like that a bit. Twist that a bit forward.
I feel so utterly lost with this conversation.
Good. Welcome, Witch.
Witch.
How's it going?
Hello.
It's going. It's going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to...
I heard the words Mazinger, and I know that those are model kits, and that's about all I know.
Yeah, there's also an anime for it too. Mazinger is cool. Come on, pull the beam saber sword back. Yeah, now I gotta pull off the shield connection. Flip it around to the other side here so that I can have the shield mounted on the outside of the arm. I am doing a, It's going to stand for the first time. All I have left to build on this witch are the hands. Of all the things to save to last, I saved the hands.
Were you doing it in a different order than the instructions intended?
Of course! I started with the weapons. Ooh.
Oh.
Let's widen the stance a bit. Let's turn the legs out a little bit. Let's see if I can...
Mazinger is what that watermelon boy is from, isn't it?
Watermelon boy?
Yeah. I know it's part of the infinitism line.
That's
Oh!
Mazinger, it's
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Jeeg.
Oh, Jeeg's a separate thing. But
Jeeg
it's
is
made by Gunna Guy also.
Okay, it looks like the same thing, except watermelon colored.
Yeah, but yeah, I have, Oh, wait, I gotta slip
I'm
the,
learning things today.
bazooka in the back.
made of metal balls.
Bazooka in place. Alright. Well, it definitely leans over to the side a lot. It is thirsting for a stand a little bit so that I can, not have it collide with itself. But look at that boy right there. Well, he's
The
leaning on his
fella.
side.
Those joints.
Yeah. Look at that boy. I like him.
I like that boy too. That's a good boy.
Like
Good
that boy.
right there.
Good boy. He can tilt his head, like, reasonably far back to do, like, a reasonably good flying pose. Like, sure, he's got a little bit of a giraffe neck going on, but, like, he can get that sort of, like, the real grade does this as well, but the high grade here, I think, does it a little bit better because it's harder to see the giraffe neck when it's, like, scrunched down, And it just goes back really far in case you're going to make a pose of it flying forward or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, like it's pushing the asteroid into Earth.
Yep.
Like it does in the movie.
Yep. I can't remember if you've actually seen,
I've seen most of Char's counterattack. I saw up to the point where Char shows up on a horse and he mud wrestles with Amuro.
Oh, that's all you.
And I've seen
That's not
Nu versus Sazabi fight at
So
the
you-
end.
So you've missed a whole bunch of the stuff in the middle.
The stuff that doesn't matter, yes.
The stuff that
Oh.
doesn't. Aww.
Hmm.
Boo!
Listen, Char's counterattack completely failed to hold my interest. I jumped to the interesting bit at the end where the Sazabi fights the Nu, and then the Nu and everyone else push the asteroid straight into Earth, and somehow that works because anime.
Ba,
I have a
ba,
feeling
ba,
Tomino
ba.
does not understand orbital mechanics.
Yeah. But look, it's Space Wizard magic, where they were just able to completely handle that situation because everybody's a Space Wizard.
Everyone believed in themselves.
And turned it back so it got backwards. Because apparently Psycho Frames can time travel.
I also love that, like, the last statement is Amuro finally coming to terms that Char's got a weird mommy issue, and then pushes the asteroid out of the way, just like, oh, come on, Char, this is seriously it? Like, completely gets over hooting and hollering about anything else to just be like, come the fuck on, Char, you cannot be this lame and petty. You can't be this stupid, you dumbass. Nope, Char is.
Shar is a dumbass. Does like Shar ever turn up after that, or is he just
No,
gone?
he's dead.
Okay,
He evaporated alongside Amuro.
he evaporated.
Oh, clone. Don't forget. Also, there were 2 clones. Full Frontal is a clone, and there is that one weird manga
Gaia
about
Gear.
a Char clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoltan is a clone. You're right.
It's
Zoltan?
yeah, it's that
That's
thing they
his
did with Full Frontal where like Char left a really strong stank in the cockpit of the Zazabi, like his mind did. He really stanked up the whole place. So they just took a guy and put him in the cockpit, like a cyber new type, and was like, okay, you gotta whiff deep and don't come out until you've like really soaked
Until
in.
you're blonde.
Yeah. So then he just kept sniffing and never stopped.
Yeah.
And they
Breaking
tried to
Basha
do that
has
with
quite
Zoltan as
explicitly
well,
posted here.
but it didn't work with
French
Zoltan.
Char.
Oh my god. I can't fucking believe that shit. It's a French Char.
I know that's not his actual name, but that is how I choose to pronounce it. Is French Char.
French. Char.
Yeah, it's a French.
A Franche.
I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but that's how I would read it.
French. Char.
Oh,
Ha ha ha.
Amaro. I eat a baguette.
I'm in pain, Amuro.
Why are you in bread?
I built the Sazabi out of bread, Amuro. I'm going to drop this massive loaf onto the earth so that everybody can enjoy its deliciousness.
Massive snail shell on the earth, Amaro.
I made the frog's legs for the earth, but they didn't want it, so now they get the snail shell instead.
Escargot, Amuro. Ha ha ha.
Oh. Fuck.
Obviously, the French
we
do
must,
not talk like this, but
We must drop the asteroids on the British. It'll be Operation British all over again.
we named it Operation British because we intended to punish them, not because we enjoy them. Ha ha. We've completely gone off the rails here, and I'm enjoying it.
If any of the 6 people watching here are French, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, like,
No, we're
obviously this is not how French people act or whatever. If we're going entirely off the stereotype that has been presented, where everybody knows it's fake, agrees it's fake, but laughs anyway because it's so surreal and strange.
I base all of my stereotypes of Quebec people I base my stereotypes of French people off of Quebec. So every other word is just tabernacle. This is the way.
Oh dear. I don't know if we have an equivalent for that down here in the United States, you know? Because there were,
Fuck. The word is fuck.
Good. Good.
That is the equivalent.
Good. Yeah, because we, the closest is probably, like, people down in Louisiana or that sort of area, because that's where the French were in the United States before Thomas Jefferson bought that entire. Yeah. The French were down in Louisiana. They owned like this massive Louisiana territory, and then Thomas Jefferson was like, "Hey, Napoleon, I see you're going to war. We'd like some of this land over here. How about we just buy it from you?" And Napoleon was like, "Oui, oui." And then he financed his war by selling a bunch of land in America. And then Jefferson was like, "All right, we own this now. Let's go." And that was the Louisiana Purchase.
When you say you don't know if you have an equivalent, is that an equivalent of Quebecois saying tabernacle as a swear all the time, or something different?
I feel like there's also like a bit of. I feel like you're also making fun of Quebec as part of this, because like in Quebec you also learn French, right? Like it's a big part of the cultural heritage that you are French Canadian.
Yeah, okay, I'm not Quebecois. I've never been to Quebec. My impression of Quebecois is that they are Quebecois first, Canadian second, and that goes for a lot of provinces. But they take a lot of pride in their Frenchness.
Yes.
Oh.
Like in some ways, the Quebecois is a separatist party.
Yes, the Bloc Québécois it's a federal party, and it panders basically to just Quebec interests. And there have been 2 referendums now on Quebec separatism. They've both failed,
obviously.
But yeah, they are very much Quebec first party, and then the rest of Canada if it doesn't impact Quebec.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
What kind of what kind of origin does this tabernacle have? It's apparently based on tabernacle, which is a weird tent you have to for the Last Supper, or what?
It's from Christianity. Like France and Quebec have ties to. I'm sure it's probably Catholicism, but I'm not 100% on that. So a lot of swears in Quebec are based on religious terms. I could pull up a list, but I'm lazy. I just know that tabernacle is based on like tabernacle, as in like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, that same thing. And yeah.
That's a left hand.
Meanwhile, you have Parisian French, where everything is just shit. And variations on shit.
Yep.
Again, I'm generalizing there. Yeah, merde.
The few French words I know.
Yep.
Mes petits chauffeurs.
I had the choice between French and Latin, and I chose Latin.
Yeah.
I had the choice between French and band, and I chose band. Hi, Ziana Gumpla.
Yeah. That's life. Hello, Ziana Gumpla. We are...
Hello.
We have gone far into the weeds. It's a chaos stream, and I like that.
Yeah, we're way out in the sticks here.
We're way out in the sticks. Yep. We're talking about, in high school, our choices of languages we could have taken. Unlike Witch, where I got a choice of band or French, I had a choice of taking band, and then unrelated, I could take German or Spanish or French. Oh. I took German. Just because German is like, it shares a more common ancestor to English than French and Spanish do. So a little bit easier to get into German than it is to get into Spanish and French from English. So, yeah.
Cool.
I'd say that's debatable. There's lots of words that are like, well, you have a German root for this, and you have Romance language. Like the big one that comes to mind is like cow and beef. So like cow is the Germanic root. Beef is like Romance language root.
Mm.
Well, but it's also in terms of like, here's how our language is structured. You know, like a
That's
language
fair.
that originates from Latin is fundamentally structured different than one that arose from Germanic. So
Speaking of language structure, my Japanese learning has taken a turn for weirdness. It's
Oh.
like, okay, I'm learning words, but now sentence structure is backwards and
Yeah.
weird.
Also, Ziana Gunpla, I see that you said you made a mistake. I'm waiting for you to finish that sentence in thought. So we're just gonna keep
Yeah,
going
I would
until
like
you
to know
do.
about your mistake.
Anyway,
Mhm.
so you're Japanese learning.
Yeah.
Oh, he split his
yeah,
finger
like,
open with an X-Acto knife while building a Sinanju. Oops.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
What's
Oh, fuck.
Stain that clear
Right.
Sinanju blood.
Well,
Red.
I mean, it's Jolly Rancher clear, so it's already red.
Yep. But you gotta stain it more red. With blood.
How bad was it? The cut, that is.
But anyway, so
Well, the kid is red now, so
sentence
that bad.
structure.
Yeah, sentence structure. It's weird.
Homemade paint.
for a couple of days and it turns brown.
5 stitches.
5 stitches.
That's a lot of stitches.
Oh.
Great.
I
got myself good at work once, and they only gave me 7. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird for me.
Shockingly.
Yeah, compared to me,
man,
where, let's see if I can get it on camera here. Oh yeah, I gotta do it like this. Well, it's kind of scrunched up here, but you can see it on the back of my elbow here. This whole section right here. Probably should have gone to a hospital and gotten stitches for this when I fell off a scooter in college, but nope.
Are we talking like a Vespa or like a Razor scooter?
Like a Razor scooter. I was riding at night. I was going to visit some friends, and I was riding down the road, and I saw something on the road, and I'm like, it's probably fine. And then realized as I came up on it, oh, wait, there's like a little tiny hole in the road. And then I went over the handlebars, like, slammed down on my hands. Like, wasn't wearing a helmet at the time, but somehow didn't smack my head. But I'm like, oh, my palms hurt. And I look at him in, like, the street light, and I'm like, I'm bleeding. Hold on, I gotta ride back to my house. And then, like, I didn't notice at all, like, my elbow got torn open. And then they're like, what's going on with your elbow? And I'm like, oh. So, every, like, twice a day, hydrogen peroxide got poured on it, and then we wrapped it in something. But yeah, that's how I handled this. Hydrogen peroxide. It's great for making sure that you don't end up like with an infected wound. Probably should have gone to.
I want to think that the hydrogen peroxide isn't for cleaning it out. It's just operant conditioning to make sure that you never do that again.
No,
like, I'm thinking about doing some stupid shit. Oh god, but the pain from the peroxide.
The pain from the peroxide has not stopped me from doing stupid shit. So, just gonna put that out there for the record.
I wish that my workplace would get with the times and be like, yeah, we can use peroxide. No, we still have capsules of iodine. And it's like, why?
Capsules of what?
Iodine.
Iodine?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
why? It stains everything. It's the worst.
What?
I'm sure Nelson was yelling there, but he kind of cut off.
Yeah, because it probably clipped too hard on Discord.
Yep.
But yeah, like so when I go and donate blood, like iodine's what they swab around on your arm to like clean out the infected area. But that's just because like it's like you just sort of spread it around on your skin and that just pushes all the bacteria and germs away from it, you know? Like, man, really? What?
Iodine? Why? I mean, in Germany we completely have disinfectants. Why would you use normal iodine?
Iodine used to be used as a disinfectant.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's old text, basically.
Yeah.
Even the stuff they use for operations, while it looks like iodine, it's not iodine anymore.
Well, at the very least, we have reached the end of said build process. I've got the Nu Gundam here.
Yeah.
In order to, like, show him properly. Man, he's really leaning over to the side with all the weight of that picket fence. But you know what? That's just life. One of the things I wasn't so sure I was going to like about it when I was building the Nu Gundam here was sort of the connection between the hips and the waist. Because it's like, it's just a sort of big block, and then it goes right onto the top of the hips there. But, considering how much it's going to lean because of that, I think I'm pretty okay with that. So I think what I gotta do is put this guy in sort of a more dynamic pose of him leaning and shooting or something, so that it's not nearly so noticeable. And then I'll probably need to go and find, like, this is a real good thing to experiment with hand painting on, you know? Because there's a lot of yellow bits, like in the vents or the swoops in the leg, in the sides, on the side skirt there, and a little bit on the funnels too. That all, like, needs a little bit of paint to look a little bit better. And I should probably do it because I like the Nu Gundam. But yeah, that's a thing to think about for another day. For tonight's stream, I hope you all have a very nice day. Thank you for coming out, Zeonic Gunpla, Breaking Basha, Wholesome Witch, and Amic. Hope you all have a nice night. Goodbye.
Yep, nice talking to you.